Hello, everybody. I hope you are all seeing me. I'm checking on the YouTube channel right now just to see that it is working. Oh, it is working. Look at that. Awesome. Very good. Very good. Welcome. This is the first time I'm ever doing this. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll do more. Just want to thank everybody who's here right now. Chia Pets, thank you so much. Leferros, thank you. Uh, we have a guest. His name's Infamous Jeb. You obviously know him. And yeah, let's begin. Let's just begin. Let's go for it. Welcome,
Yo,
Jeff.
yo, what's shaking, guys? What's going on? How you doing, man? It's your boy, Infamous Jeb. What's shaking? Nostravenom. Thanks for having me, brother. Glad to be here. Happy to be here. Happy to friggin' chill, talk some Venom.
Love
Yeah,
it,
man.
love it, love it. So, because you're on Nostravenom, you have to ask the main question to all guests in the future, now, every time. How much of a Venom fan are you, Jeff?
I don't know, man. I don't know if this right behind me hasn't sunk in yet, but I don't know, man. I can honestly say it's been a long time. I can remember first time ever seeing the Todd McFarlane issues and just being just wowed by this thing that's a monster and yet it's a man and he just comes at them and just his brutality was awesome and then eventually he became a hero and like he's the guy who keeps coming back. He's the kid who keeps getting knocked down and getting back up, and 100% Venom's right there. Always be one of my top faves, man, for
Like,
sure.
I love Donny Cates' run because he really makes him the comeback king, right? And as he's the comeback king, he is the person who's died, come back, died. And it's great that for you that first moment was the comic. For me, it was the animated series.
Totally,
The, mo-
totally.
the moment I watched him on the TV, I was like, this guy just stole my heart. And everybody always talks about, oh, they love Batman, they love Spider-Man, they love the generic characters, right? No,
Yeah, yeah,
not calling it generic, but they're the main staples, right? So,
yeah.
but Venom was always my guy the moment I saw him. And just lately, they literally made a really nice bust of him from the animated series. Did you get it?
Actually, I didn't order that one. I saw those were I think they were on previews for sale pre-order, but I actually, yeah, I honestly I'm trying to contain myself to just comics. I will eventually get like, a nice piece, probably get a bust, um like something XM Studios or something, get a nice piece, to just kind of pull the man cave kind of together eventually. Just comic books and the spec game that keeps me touching.
Listen, you got to make your choice. You made yours. I salute you because for me, it was everywhere. And then I had to regroup. I had to come back to take a step back to say, okay, wait a minute. I got to be really organized here because it's too much.
You know what I always say, man? I always say there's a fine line between collecting and hoarding. Very
That
fine
is,
line.
that is
So
a very good point.
as
Very
long
good point.
as as long as we just stay on that collecting side, no harm, no foul. You know,
Yeah.
worse
So
shit. They're way worse shit we could spend our money on. 100%.
150%. And that's why every parent out there who tells their kid, why are you collecting so many comics? All you gotta turn around and say is, would you rather me make do drugs?
Dumb shit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I love that we're here. Thank you so much again for being here. Let's get into it.
100%. Thank you.
We're gonna talk about the
Whew.
summer of symbiotes. It's been a
That's
hot one,
yeah, man.
especially for our bank accounts. And
Yeah, it's
there's
been a very, very, very long summer. It had its ups and downs, but definitely. What was your favorite thing so far, or what was your favorite thing?
my biggest, and we're gonna talk about it later,
Yeah.
but just the fact that Null was being mentioned, I was very happy. And we're gonna get into it because I read it today and I have a few points. I have a few pointers about it, but we'll get into
Yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right, so let's begin with the fact that the Summer of the Symbiotes is actually celebrating 35 years of Venom. So 35 years ago today, issue 300 came out, and the world was seeing Venom.
Yeah.
And fun fact, Venom wasn't even supposed to be Eddie Brock. It was supposed to be a woman. Did you know that?
I actually didn't know that. Had no clue.
Yeah, it was
Interesting.
discussed. It was being discussed about how it was a woman that Spider-Man didn't save their child, something along those lines. And then Todd was like, "Nah, we have to make him buff. We have to make him tough. We're going our way." And thank God
100%.
that happened.
Yeah, man. But I mean, like like anything, the symbiote's been worn by multiple people, so they could have went. I mean, it could have been a jilted lover or some like crazy. Could you imagine Venom was like the crazy stalker chick, like someone
That's
who
a
was
good
like
point.
actually in love with Peter Parker, but like went full crazy stalk.
Maybe they should do that in a what if. Maybe it was one of Peter Parker's girlfriends, and never know where that kind of what if can go. Maybe there's
Yeah,
a
man.
child. Maybe that child was better connected to Null. Anyways, I can get into all kinds of ideas. As you've seen from my videos, I go really deep diving into the mythology of Venom. I show you proof. I show you comics.
Hmm.
To the 6 viewers who are watching, I'm so grateful. If you aren't a subscriber yet, please subscribe. And yeah, let's keep going. So
Yeah, buddy.
let's begin with the first thing: Carnage reigns. Now, the first thing I want to mention to all the audience is that this is Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah,
But I want to
right.
make it very point: it's Cletus Cassidy's codex. Because
Hmm.
let's be honest here, we have two codexes when it comes to Venom. I mean Carnage. Sorry, I always talk about Venom, right? And it comes down to the fact that Carnage is its own symbiote. It's a gateway. And then when joined with Cletus Cassidy, we all see how Cletus Cassidy's body has literally been destroyed on multiple levels. Which
Yeah, they
which one
just
was your favorite death?
Sentry Death. Come on,
Oh,
that's the classic. That was like one of those moments where I think we all just were like, "Yo,
agreed.
he just ripped Carnage in half." Carnage, like one of the scariest monsters in the MCU, and he just rides him up to space, rips him in half, and chucks him. Like not even a second guess. And I was just like, "Wow, that that right there is later Carnage."
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, "But what are they doing to my symbiotes?" Because I was just getting into comics around that time when House of M, Avengers Dissembled, and I was really excited because at the moment I was 16 and I was starting to collect Venom comics. I was
Yeah.
getting all of them. And I was like, okay, but in the recent times, what's going on? And then I see that, and I'm like, well, I guess they're not giving much attention to him.
Yeah, they just ended them really quick, and like honestly, it wasn't such a bad thing just because the '90s was so um, just full of carnage, right? Like the '90s, Carnage didn't go anywhere. He was just they shoved it down your throat, and it kind of gave a good hiatus to the character in
Yeah,
a not so subtle way, but definitely. But this right here, the Extreme Biot,
the extremely odd.
the
Tony
Extreme
Stark.
Biot.
Tony Stark screwed up, and as he screwed up, oh, there you go. Yeah, very nice. Let's have a nice view of it. There you go.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Tony Stark. Just because you can doesn't really mean you should,
Elon
right?
Musk, listen to that.
Yeah, man. No shit.
So yeah, in this series, what occurs is that Carnage has his field day. It actually is crossover between Red Goblin, Miles, and Iron Man. But obviously, Iron Man doesn't have a comic tying in. He just shows up. I
Yeah.
really did like his Dragon Slayer, that was
Yeah,
really cool. I
yeah,
really had to hold myself back about not buying like a cover of it because it was sick.
yeah, man. The Dragon Slayer armor was cool. Miles ended up getting a temporary armor, which was more like a cast. It wasn't so much it was an armor, but it was like a super cast that, you know, was the new spider armor, basically, right?
I do love that they're giving so much love to Miles. They're giving him those chances. They're doing really good. I saw that he has a sword now.
Yeah, so he's basically taken his Venom Blast and kind of, you know,
Focused.
form blazing sword. You know, I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool. Focus it and using it as a, a weapon. It's different, right?
Yeah,
It's awesome to see the writers take chances and come in and give a shit about a character and add their own mythos to it. You know what I'm saying? Their own lore. So
agreed.
definitely a positive thing. I'm looking forward to seeing.
Agreed. So next, talking about Red Goblin, can I say that they're doing a pretty good job with him? Like the fact that they gave Venom to Dylan Brock and they couldn't keep that going, but then
Uh,
they gave Rascal to uh, Normie Osborn, and he has like almost 8 issues already, and it's like, wow.
yeah,
This guy's so
Alex Parkadale, the writer, has just knocked this out of the park. He he shows everything from the angst. He brought some like crazy deep cuts into the series that a lot of people probably don't know about when they introduce Tim Anders. That character was a character that uh, back in like it was like Iron Man 126 or something like that, where Iron Man ends up saving this woman and she has a baby and he ends up paying for this kid his whole life, and that's the Tim Anders kid, and that's back from when Iron Man was dealing with his alcoholism and stuff. So super deep cut. Like the guy took some like crazy risks with this story, and they brought back my boy Phil. Man, he every time that Red Goblin comes around, Phil Ulrich is always getting stabbed and messed up. Um, yeah, man, I love what they're doing with Red Goblin.
agreed. Agreed. And Liz Allen as well. He's gonna be coming up next. But let's go into another direction now. Venom, Eddie Brock. At the beginning of this summer, he was in the engine room, and I refer to the engine room a lot because now it
Mhm.
makes sense. A lot makes sense. The fact that he's connected to magic. My next
Hi,
video.
everybody. Sorry.
Actually, well, let's take a moment to say hi to all our
Mm,
amazing people that are joining us. I'm so happy to see them. Hi to Lefteros, Chiapet, JF, Black Crown is joining us. Thank you so much.
shout out Black Crown. Yo, yeah, guys, awesome to see you always. Those are our peeps, man. They always got our backs. I appreciate them.
I
Nothing
gotta
but
be fully
love.
honest. Black Crown literally inspired me to do the channel. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even have tried.
100%, man. The guy, very inspiring man. Awesome, awesome, awesome dude.
So back to the Venom. So in this engine room, right? What was it for you? Did it make you feel like it finally answered questions, more questions?
um, so the engine room goes all the way back to the free comic book day book, right? So we're getting into all the different Kings in Black. We're getting into the seventh Venom, which they still have not shown yet. If that is like the ultimate form of Eddie Brock in the King in Black, um, it's interesting, right? I can say for a casual reader, this is not an easy book to just jump into,
No.
100%. So uh, definitely jump on YouTube and learn as much as you can through there and get out there and read this series. But yeah, it's not an easy book to just get into. I do like this. He kind of looked like Goro
Yeah,
from
and
Mortal Kombat.
it's very interesting because I think in issue 7 or 8, when he jumps into the future, there's like a symbiote army tank. And if you remember, they're both red and they're both with 4 arms. So
Yeah. He was kind of like jokingly calling that overkill.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And so he comes back, and one of the biggest things that happens during the summer that passed, is that Eddie actually creates a human symbiote. He literally used the engine room to create himself back into reality, which is intense. And then that
Absolutely.
battle that he has with Bedlin,
Bedlam.
wow, that is, I go back and forth with that battle because that
Yeah.
was sick.
Yeah, bedlam. It means to like to be out of control and yeah, man, he comes back, does his best impression of Terminator. He comes back, he's like, I want your bike and give me your bike, give me your keys, and paint a symbol on my back. And then he like screws off and goes and kicks the shit out of himself.
Oh yeah, and I really recommend starting to get into it. Don't worry if you want more information, leave a comment, um, and I'm gonna be going into it. I'm gonna go into the whole mythology that's going on because there's a lot, and I break it
Ah.
down easy for everybody. So the next one, Edge of Venomverse Unlimited. Have you read any of these?
Yeah, I've brushed through all of them. I think Philip Lee is drawing him, something like that. Philip something. I forget his name, but rookie rookie mistake. But this one was kind of interesting. The Exorcist kind of uh, Clay. What's his last name? The guy who's writing this series. Uh,
Uh, I'm not good with names, man.
yeah. So he was writing the series. He wrote Extreme Venomverse Slasher. He wrote the Scream series, and he's
Nice.
adding to all these Edge of Venomverse Unlimited issues.
Very nice.
This one, the Forearm Venom, was basically their take on the Exorcist. So the the Vexorcist, I think, is what they were calling it.
Yeah, there was a lot in this, right? There's that. There's President Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
That
There's
one was one of my favorites.
I really liked the Siamese twins
Oh
one.
yeah,
I thought they were really cool. I thought that was an interesting concept for sure.
I'm really hoping that one day they make this into an actual physical copy because I would love to own it.
I would say they are. I mean, they did it for recently with Spine Tingling Spider-Man, and
Oh,
they did it for the Jeff series. So I'm I'm thinking that's going to happen. Just be patient. Be patient.
be patient. That's the goal here. We still don't know where we're going with Venom, but we're being patient.
Hey guys, it's not a race, it's a marathon. So
Exactly.
just take your time. I am so full of all my Jebisms.
And I believe that the last issue actually was the lead up to how the Symbiote Six were created.
Yeah, absolutely. It gave them a good little backstory, and it was like the Venom symbiote, but spread out amongst all the characters.
Yeah, very
Um,
cool. And I really like how they took the perspective of Craven as a nice predator, like attempting to understand its foe and this and that, to realizing, whoa, this is just a boy with an alien costume on.
yeah, man. Like I said, like we couldn't even like hit the surface of the complexity it would take to be bonded to such a like higher life form. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
we can't even freaking figure out our cell phones half the time. Could you imagine having to share your brain with somebody else? Oh wait, we kind of do that with our wives, but
Shots fired. Shots fired. All right, to the extreme.
yeah,
Okay,
buddy.
who was your favorite from the extreme Venomverse? And we're
Oh,
not
that's
talking Death of Venomverse yet. We're talking about the extreme one.
LMV. LMV was probably like the coolest story and probably the saddest story out of all of the. For me, that one hit deepest just because you get a symbiote who's now imprisoned in that mechanoid body, right? And it was kind of like disheartening. And one thing that I was sad was that we didn't get a lot of LMV at all. You
Agreed.
know,
Yeah.
um, it was super super shitty for that. But
But I have to relook at the end of that the Venomverse because there's a bunch of them that show up, and I'm not
yeah,
sure
man,
if he's in there, but I know a few other ones are in there.
yeah, he ends up showing up in Death of Venomverse. Um, I just feel like if you're gonna take a character, you're gonna put that much thought and effort into it, give him a bigger role in the end game,
I agree.
which honestly we'll get into it obviously later, but there was no end game to Death of Venomverse.
There
That
wasn't anything, but we're getting there,
yeah
everybody.
yeah yeah yeah.
For me, my favorite was the Samurai, obviously. I really loved it, and I think we all loved it a little much because then Kid Venom comes out, and it turns out he's also a samurai, right? So we'll get to that later, but we're leaving you at a cliffhanger, so you keep holding on. Now we come down to Misery.
Whew.
First off, I love this name. This name was perfect. What do you think?
So 100%. Honestly, this series was my favorite for the summer. Like all summer, this was one of my favorite reads. Liz's interaction with her own symbiote, with her own self doubt, her own feelings, and all like the trauma and shit she's been put through by the Osborne family
Oh
was
yeah,
super super deep, right? So I loved everything about this series, and of course, Badness. Again, we're all kind of everyone's a little argumentative about Madness, right? Because he is, he's another hybrid, but is he the original symbiotes or is he just strains of the
let's
symbiotes, right?
let's
Nothing.
debate it. Let's debate it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that is the debate, right? Because Misery is strains of the anti-venom and Carnage
Exactly,
strains. So they're not
exactly,
original symbiote. They're symbiote that was built up kind of in a test tube, right? And
exactly.
so we get the Corwin Jones, who obviously the guy has got nothing to lose. He's huge military background, huge um, you know, mechanics, all that kind of stuff. Comes in there with his like makeshift kind of guardsman armor that he kind of like used and makeshift and made it his own kind of thing, which I love it. I think he looks badass when he's like all armored up and when he's going and trying to contain the symbiotes in the first place. But yeah, man, again, Madness was just he's again a complex character thrown in there with another super complex character like Liz, and they definitely build like a really cool lore. And where it's going from here, it's kind of anyone's guess now.
Well, I read it as well, and I loved it because it makes us have that perspective that the symbiotes are more than just living things, they could be cloned. And I use the word clone for a reason because I don't know if you ever read the Daniel Way Venom comic, but that was
Yeah,
a twist of a twist of another twist. And I really hope Marvel touches that one day.
yeah, I have. That's the one with uh
Bob.
yeah, wasn't it the one with the female symbiote?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was the
yeah, he was cloned from the tongue, right?
exactly the
Yeah,
tongue.
yeah, 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 yeah. Rest in peace. I forget, but she ended up like dying again in Absolute Carnage. Super
Patricia.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patricia. Um,
So
yeah,
I
I got some of those Scotty Young covers, baby. They were it was like before Scotty was like Scotty Young. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I got a couple of those in 9.8. I'm pretty happy to have them in the collection for sure.
Congratulations to that. But yeah,
Yeah.
to for my 2 cents about the strains, they for sure are strains, especially at the end when she defeats him, because she uses an anti venom and they literally go poof, right? So stronger ones, real symbiotes. They've been fighting Agent Anti Venom. They've been fighting Silence, and they've had a harder time, but they still live. They still walk away.
Yeah.
But in this one, they kind of go poof, and you do see him, the character you said his name is again Crowd, um,
Corwin.
Corwin. You can
Corwin
see
Jones.
he's still thinking about them, right? They're still in his mind.
Yeah, yeah, they're there, man. They haven't gone anywhere yet. They're there. They're just and they're kind of running the show now. So it's interesting because this is like the first time. Well, I would say like the second time the symbiotes are actually in the driver's seat because Sleeper back in the day was like one of the first symbiotes to ever lobotomize somebody and run the show, right? And
Actually,
right now, Corwin is the guy's got nothing to lose. He's living in a body that he's slowly dying in, and he's got the most powerful freaking weapon, I think, hands down, out of the symbiotes. Like the guy's a heavyweight powerhouse. Um,
agreed. And a good argument about these strains is like when we look at the Grendel and the fact that Nick Fury took some of them and created symbiotes of their own. Like, can we really say that Rex is just a strain? No, Rex was a symbiote of its own too, right? But
yeah,
he was part of the Grendel. So that's where the real
man,
conversation begins, right?
yeah. Tyrannosaurus was one of my favorite things that came out of Donny Cates' run, and I would fucking spend all my money on all the freaking nom military whatever. Just bring Rex back. Like, let me
Bring
tell
Rex
you,
back. Bring Rex
love
back.
what an awesome character that was. He had a little bit of limelight in King of Black, but then they just
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But
But anyone
yeah,
can bring him back, right?
anyone could be brought back. Look, the Life Foundation was brought back.
Yeah.
We had no idea what they were going to do with it in the Venom series, but in this series, at least they came to a nice little close of how Liz Allen takes on the ownership of the Life Foundation. So
um yeah, it was kind of cool because Liz, obviously she's a powerhouse. Like it was something that if everyone was reading Red Goblin, the scene where she's talking to the head teacher, where the she's like, just so you know, I'm scary, but my lawyers are scarier, and they scare me. And if you don't find my son, I'm gonna end you. And it's just there's something about the modern day villain where, like, if you are rich and powerful and you are down there indestructible, because you know what, you probably have 10 lawyers that will just wipe the mat of any human. Like nothing screws you worse than legal. Let me
yeah,
tell you.
100%. That's why you should never divorce your wife. Moving on.
Whoops.
So this was your favorite. I had to put him up. So please tell us why you love Chaos Engine.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Fucking Chaos Engine is just dope. Like this character is just fun. So I was reading some I think it was some Reddit or one of the like Colin Boone's. He was talking about what he was doing with this character, how he was supposed to be like an Asgardian warrior with a symbiote who might have ties to Valkyrie
Oh, wow.
and Flash, and then also they did kind of the same thing with Asgardia. Obviously, we'll probably see more of that later, but this character, he's just cool, man. Like I don't know. I think he's probably one of the breakout characters from Death of Venomverse. Sorry. But I love his look. In Death of Venomverse 5, you finally see him where you see his like human self, and he's got like the guy liner on, and I'm like, man, this is just a kind of a cool character.
He is. And I hope that he joins more. I think he'd do great when it comes to Gwenum, Gwen with the symbiote, and like her whole thing is that she's a rock star, right? So
Yeah,
we need another
that would be
musician
cool.
to
That would
join
be really
in,
really cool. 100%. That would be cool. Actually, I didn't even think of
especially
that.
that
That's it.
Mary Jane is Carnage now, or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
at the end of that, we don't know what's happening, but there's a lot of good stories that can happen. Musically, we got something going.
Yeah, man. He's a character that I don't think is gonna get forgotten. And I'm not going to because I'm gonna get on the mountains and scream chaos engine, chaos engine.
Send it in,
So
man.
they
Send it
have
in.
to they got to listen anyways. Enough people bitch and complain. They do what we want, right?
I'm just really surprised that they didn't put him on a cover. Like, are you surprised too? Like, I'm surprised they didn't put him on a cover.
Yeah, super disappointed actually. Give Lucio Perillo a cover with him and just
Love
just
it.
on top of a mountain with lightning and shit, or even like do a homage to Venom 1 from Kate's run with the lightning in the background, but he's like on his guitar.
That that
Come
is a
on,
fantastic idea.
come on, man! Like,
Wow.
let's go,
Yo,
Chaos Engine! Woo!
to the next one. Another breakout. Kid Venom. Now I
Uh,
really feel like Kid Venom is getting a lot of love because of Spider Boy. I said it. I said it. Say something in the comments. Spider Boy's involved.
Yo, Spider Boy's solid, man. Like,
He is solid.
people been bitch and shit and complain all they want. Spider Boy's a solid character. We
Agreed.
should be so happy that we
We
get such a
should.
cool character like Spider Boy.
And now that they might connect Kid Venom to him, I'm all for it. I'm excited. Let's see how it goes.
I think this was just an exclusive cover, right? Like,
Yeah, this one for
they
sure. Yeah.
they they put anything on exclusive covers nowadays, and you're like, oh, what's gonna be hot? Hey, let's look it up.
It's hot.
Oh, look, Spider Boy is really hot. Let's put Kid Venom with Spider Boy. Yeah. Oh man, let's do a Venom. Let's do a Spider Man 316 homage. Oh yeah, because that hasn't been done to death. Oh no.
For sure how it went in the meeting room. For sure.
Oh, let's
All
do
right.
it.
But
Yo, that
so,
that cover was a money grab.
well,
Those covers
100%.
like that are all money grabs. So
That is for sure a money grab. 100%.
that that one, the actual homage that Marvel put out of the second print,
Yeah. Well,
that is solid. That's a solid homage.
that's actually a first print. The Spider Boy was a second print, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Spider Boy is a second print. The homage to the second print.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
So Kid Venom is the first.
I like the character because he basically reminds me of Naruto, but
yeah.
he's got a symbiote and he does badass shit. He just needs to be like and kick some ass, and I will buy the crap out of that comic. You know that.
Well, you've mentioned it that they're gonna make an origin. I hope it's not just the reprint of the story that was shown.
Yeah. So they're gonna put the reprint. So they're gonna put that story in there. Plus, they're gonna add
Oh, nice.
and see where where the character is gonna take him. So yeah, we're gonna get Venom, Kid Venom Origins #1. It's gonna be out, I believe, January 3rd, 2024. And yeah,
It's gonna be hot.
it's gonna be a hot book, man. Tagami or whatever his name is, who just did the Necroco cover, is doing a cover.
Nice.
Ramos is doing a cover, so it'll probably be something related to Spider Boy homage.
Nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
man. And Torin Clark, who did the connecting variant for Carnage Reigns, is doing the 1 in 25 cover for that book.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good stuff.
We got another person coming in. Ventus.
What's up, homie?
It's up. All right, last one, but it has to end with this one. It has to end with a bang. So, Death of Venomverse. Fully, how do you feel about the whole series? Yeah,
Just a
drink
second.
before you go, right?
I'm taking like I'm taking 5. Everybody, I'm taking 5. Taking 5. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't bad. So it ended on a Sopranos
It did.
end. It ended exactly like the Sopranos. I love that. I am not even bullshitting. I love that it ended. Carnage wins.
Yeah, yeah.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! But sorry.
But
Um,
it's still a massive cliffhanger, right? Because what did he even do with Null, right? Like after that, he just gets attacked. He keeps fighting. Um,
he's got all blood, baby.
all kinds of stuff is going on, right? So, and it literally ends with just his face going like, yeah, like
Yeah, man. That
there's so much going on right here. Like it's not the end, which is something I'm very happy to see because let's be fully honest, it's not the end. He's
I
not over.
I feel like they didn't have to start a whole new volume though. You know what I mean? Like they don't have to go back to Carnage 1. They could have just carried on with Torin Groenbeck. Awesome artist, or she the writer or artist? I can't remember. No, she is yeah, the writer. And then the guy who did Reign of Carnage is the guy who's drawing Ota. Yeah, so Julius Ota is doing the interiors, and I don't know if you caught, like I posted in the Senate a picture of how Sleeper's gonna look.
Ooh, no, I didn't see that yet. I'm
No,
very
you didn't see
excited to
that.
see it.
Oh man,
Very excited to see that.
ugh, this guy, everybody, like he's just do better.
Was walking my dog. What can I say? But yeah, like I really feel there's so much to keep going on with this. The fact that they're restarting at number one, in my full opinion, if this doesn't carry over, we're gonna have a problem.
Well,
We're gonna have
yeah,
a
yeah.
problem. But
Um, from what I read about the solicitations, it looks like Carnage is creating more power base. So he won. Now he's gonna look towards getting back up, back up, back up, back up. um, he's going to kind of create it. He's a god, right? So what do gods need? Worshippers.
that's true. That's true.
What do they needs followers, right? I'm speculating like all types of shit coming into Carnage. I'm thinking maybe we get Claire Dixon back, aka Rays. I could see that happen. Tennis Neves, aka Scorn. Um, Doppelganger is gonna be there. He's
Agreed.
he's our he's my boy. Let me tell you, Carnage without Doppelganger is like fucking the Snoop Dogg without Dre. It's just not as good, right? And then we're gonna get, maybe he's gonna bring the band back together. Obviously, Demogoblin. He's gonna create his cult of carnage,
And just to
and
make sure everyone knows, Demogoblin now is Shriek reborn.
100%, 100%.
I
And
really did love the Scream series. I feel like it was so much potential in that series, but because of COVID, they completely stopped it. And it's like it was so much good stuff, like Big Mother. Like it was so much good stuff going on.
yeah, the Creeps. The Creeps was such a deep cut. That was from kids. Kids don't talk to strangers. X-Men book.
Yep,
Like the Creeps was that was I was like, wow, can't believe you brought such a like the most obscure stuff in there. And
yeah.
Big Mother, well, eh, eh,
Well,
there it is,
there it is.
there
There
it
it
is, right there. Yeah, yeah,
is.
Big Mother, first
Yeah,
appearance, baby.
yeah, and I just love it because at the end of the day, Venom has so much lore. I'll go into it in a few of my videos right now, but I'm going to be going into more of it with the
Hundred
fact
percent.
that the abyss, the darkness, this, that, like there's so much goodness, and like I really believe Null can have so much potential. I have a great video that just came out. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, 100%.
I go into the whole idea of like the Elder God War. Like that's something that should be touched because it would explain a lot. Like
Oh,
we've
I should
gotten
have
this,
brought that book out. I had the first that book
yes,
that
a
I got,
tomb,
that Atum
a tomb.
Demigurge.
Yeah, yeah. Like
You,
we've done the Celestials for so long, it's enough. Hey, maybe the new gods thing gets into it. You know?
well, it was cool because if through Secret Invasion they made the God Squad, and the Demigorge was one of the Atum was one of the teammates,
Oh
right?
wow.
He was one of the characters, and just fell in love with the character and came upon the 9.8 for super cheap at the time. Now
The money.
it's a money book, let me tell you.
Money.
Um, but it is kind of cool because the first time I ever heard about the Demigorge, before I even knew that, was through Midnight Massacre.
Oh.
If you guys remember from the 90s, Blade read one of the pages of Darkhold and turned into the Demigorge, and he became the Midnight Massacre, which that's a whole different story. But that was when I first came across the character or heard the name.
And you know what? My biggest argument is that it's an extension of a tomb. And the reason why I say it's an extension because when you look at Null, he has himself, um, he has his necro sword, which we all see that Gore takes and moves away from. So like
Yeah,
for sure has the connection to the demiurge. Sorry, you said it again. The word, yeah,
like that's like Demogorge.
demigorge. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's for sure it's for sure an extension of him. I really believe that Captain Universe is an extension of him. There's so much potential, right? And I don't know if
100%.
anyone read Beyond Defenders. I was reading it. It's so meta. Like you really have to sit down and listen to these, like what they're saying to each other. The one above all shows up.
When yeah, well, when they introduced that universe where they had the different versions of already heroes, and they showed like the three-armed Venom,
Yeah,
but it was from that universe in that series, I believe.
yeah, exactly. And if you look, like the Beyonders used to look a certain way, but now
Hmm.
after Secret Wars, they all look like Franklin
80s white
Richards.
guys.
I said it. I said it. But I'm gonna get into that video soon, so subscribe to hear what I'm gonna say about that later.
Yo,
So
you know what I love about you is you have a different perspective, and you're tapping into things that I thought of, and I was like, maybe those are too crazy, and I love that you get these ideas out there.
they ain't crazy, man. It's there. Because what I always loved about Venom, well, I loved it and I hated it, but they always gave you these cliffhangers, right?
Hmm.
And they leave you that chance to bring up your own idea and figure it out. And Donny Cates in an interview, he did a great job, right? And I'm really sorry of what happened to him. It
Yeah.
breaks my heart. But something that he inspired me is he said it himself. He said, reading Venom, I always had questions, and now I get to answer those questions. And that's what he did with his run. And I really love that because with this show, with this channel I'm doing the same thing. He inspired me. And I hope one day Marvel reaches out and be like, hey, you've been saying a lot of ideas. Come. It
Yeah.
happened with Venom, right? Like that guy wrote it in saying, hey, Spider-Man should have a black suit, and boof, $200 later, he regrets his decision because they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I think Marvel got smarter about how they do that process,
No,
but
for sure, for sure.
man, Summer of the Symbiotes definitely one of my things. That, again, Red Goblin has been so excellent. That Alex Parkadale. I always butcher everyone's names, but super nice guy, great to talk to. Man, he's been nailing it out of the park. So I'm speculating. I'm just throwing it out there.
Go for it.
So I'm speculating that Phil still ends up with the symbiote, I'm thinking that the next two issues is going to be like them tearing Normie from the symbiote, and they're going to end up giving it to somebody who makes more sense.
Hmm.
So Phil Ulrich, I don't believe he's dead. Actually, I twittered it, I xed it, and asked him, and I was like, "Yo," I was like, "Hey, like, please don't tell me you off my boy already, my boy Phil. Like, he was my '90s Green Goblin. Don't kill my guy Phil." And then he posted, "Looks can be deceiving."
Ooh.
Ah, right. So
Love it
I
when they
was like,
answer.
yeah, 100% Alex be killing it. And hashtag Chia Pet. Um,
Finally learned how to do it, so I was like, oh yeah, I could show people.
so I'm thinking that by the time they're done fighting and scrapping out with Normie, because pretty about 95% sure that Red Goblin is done at 10. There was no solicitation for December
Yeah.
for an issue 11, so I'm pretty sure it's done at 10. But I'm thinking our boy Phil still has like a fighting chance. They've built up everything, like him towards getting this goal of getting the symbiote. Like they showed back in the day when he was part of the losers.
Oh.
He was part of the superhero support group where,
Yeah, I did
he's
see
like,
that.
yeah, right there, right?
What I
And that,
love is I saw Chris Powell.
yeah. And
Dark Hawk.
man, in that series, Phil got the Darkhawk. He became Darkhawk for a little while.
Oh, really?
Phil's always been like this, and he's an addict, right? Once you get power, you can't.
You want more?
You want more, right? And
Hey, maybe
now,
he'll join up with Madness.
yeah, absolutely, right. He's part of Carnage's next big cult that he's starting.
Maybe because the way it's going, we do know that there's gonna be another big Venom event, right? And
I I'm Venom War, baby. Venom War is coming. Like
oh
we're
yeah,
we're all sitting back, and Venom War is coming. It's gonna happen. I feel like they're gonna announce that at New York Comic Con in the next couple weeks. And dude, I'm stoked, man. I'm so stoked. Yeah.
I'm super excited too because we've been teased with that free comic book day for a long time, and let's go, man! Because it's I'm turning blue. You know what I mean?
Breathe, my brother. Breathe.
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 All right, man. We've been on for 47 minutes. I'm really happy with this. Thank you so much for joining us. Joining me, sorry. Yeah, I even speak in we because we are Venom.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
That's right.
Man, anytime, man. Really appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for whoever wanted to come check it out.
Yeah, thanks to
Definitely,
everybody.
people come check it out on the the back burner. Obviously, this is gonna get posted, and man, good times, baby. Good
Good
times.
times. Good times.
Always ready to talk about Venom symbiote shit, man,
Well,
baby.
people
Yeah,
are calling us this. Someone
the
said it.
symbiote syndicate.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Why is it not showing up?
It's all good. It's all good.
Anyways, next time I'll be more in control of this thing. I know how to do it now. So, thank you so much. Salute to everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. Really appreciate all of you. And yeah, let's do it again one day.
100%, baby. Yeah.
Talk to you soon, man.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Did you turn it off?